All right, Governor Cuomo and Governor Christie share a lot more than outsized egos and the Hudson River. They are pretty simpatico political operators, and Friday's announcement was a team effort, as was the subsequent no-retreat. Governor Cuomo, who earlier reports indicated had sold only 945 units of his brand new book in its first week of sales, saw an opportunity to move some product.
I'm asking those people who were in contact with infected people, stay at home for 21 days. We will pay. Enjoy your family, enjoy your kids, enjoy your friends, read a book, read my book. You don't have to read my book, but stay at home for 21 days.
Joining me now, MSNBC contributor Brian Murphy, former managing partner of PoliticsNJ.com, now assistant professor of U.S. political history at Baruch College. These two guys, you could write a whole movie about Andrew Cuomo and Chris Christie. This was, because this just embodied their two leadership styles so much, which was kind of this, screw the experts. They didn't even tell the mayor of New York City, which is just gobsmacking. They didn't seem to consult with anyone. We know best.
It's shocking. I mean, the difference in tone between the event that Cuomo and Christie did on Friday compared to what Cuomo and de Blasio did could not have been more stark, right? In one event, the city event, it's all about the health experts, the Department of Health.
The technocrats were listening to the experts.
And it's exciting for me as a historian because I see sort of the deep history of New York City's public health infrastructure rear its head and come to
which is an amazing thing with an amazing history.
Right. And then on Friday you see everybody panic, right? And then and they had only announced, Christie had only announced the state's plan on the 22nd of October, and gave a dig to the nurses union at that event. They had only had 3 hospitals designated, all in the northern part of the state. So it seemed like they were in the process of getting their people trained, and then they did, the 10. In the empty building, which is like a...
Well, and I find the politics of this, independent of the policy, which we're going to even talk about a little bit more, is remarkable. Because it was almost like this woman was just staring death in the face for a month in the heart of the worst epidemic happening anywhere in the world right now. She comes back. Chris Christie thinks he's going to bully her. And she's like, I'm not scared of you, Chris Christie. I was just dealing with Ebola.
And now Christie's taking heat from the right for letting her go, and caving it. Rush Limbaugh criticized him for caving into Obama today. And you can see that they're trying, on one hand, you could even take away the partisan aspect, the more explicit. Just the fear aspect of it is enough to drive conservative votes in a midterm,
because this is fear sells, basically.
But there's also this aspect of Christie trying to get some cred with his base on the right and establish himself, and even this wasn't enough. I mean, it seems like the right wanted him to keep her for 21 days, even though she wasn't sick, just to sort of stick it to Obama and give everybody a story to talk about through next Tuesday.
Right, because over the course of this weekend, you saw this fascinating jurisdictional political wrestling match happening, and you saw it, I mean, I would even submit you saw it at the first press conference in New York after Dr. Craig Spencer, where it's the mayor and the governor, and the mayor speaks first, but the governor speaks for longer, and all this stuff looks like, to me as an observer, like it's being negotiated behind scenes in quite a granular fashion.
And among two people who it's no secret, they don't get along well. And this is, in this case, de Blasio, this is maybe the first important time too. De Blasio, Christie, Cuomo, de Blasio, clearly the winner in the sort of who's responding rationally and acting responsibly game.
Public health contest.
That this has become the dry run for how you handle an actual pandemic or epidemic crisis in the city and state.
And you also wonder, how much of the walk back, I found the walk back interesting too, because both of these men are not, and talking about Chris Christie and Andrew Cuomo, who have very similar personalities and leadership styles in many ways, that they're not admitting that they're reversing themselves. You saw Chris Christie and you saw Andrew Cuomo do the exact same thing.
No, never give in, Never
no mistakes ever.
No.
Brian Murphy, thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Chris.
All right, it's one of the most invasive things a government can do to a citizen, detain you against your will. So the question is, when does a quarantine actually make sense? That's next.